How to get approved for a personal loan. Did you know that nearly half of all applications for personal loans are declined? Yeah, it's true. Well, I'm going to tell you exactly what to put on your application, what they're looking for, and how you can get approved for a personal loan. Let's go.
Noel. Yeah, she can fix that. If you gotta get it done, or you need to do it better, well, she can fix that. Yeah, she can fix that. Investment to get back, trying to get a big stack. She can fix that. Let's fix that.
I'm going to share with you a detailed step-by-step guide on exactly how to get approved for a personal loan. I'm going to share with you the biggest secret that I learned when I was just recently getting approved for a personal loan of over $100,000. And I'm going to share with you the number one thing that people put on their application that gets them declined so you can avoid it. So let's talk about loans. As many of you guys know, you will go to a bank, a credit union to apply for a personal loan. They lend money, and this is considered an unsecured loan. So let's talk about the difference in loans, because there's two types of loans that banks lend. We have secured loans, meaning it is secured or collateralized by something. So think of an auto loan or a car loan. And then we have loans that are unsecured or uncollateralized, such as a personal loan or a credit card. Those are loans that are not secured by anything. In other words, if you don't pay, they don't have anything that they can take back in order to get from you. So when it comes to lending, banks are looking for low risk loans, and personal loans that are unsecured or uncollateralized are considered higher risk. So when we go to a bank and we're looking for funding and we're saying, okay, I'm gonna get a loan, they will lend you anywhere from $5,000 to $250,000 in most cases, okay? And they have these loans available. You literally can go into almost any bank, credit union, or lender and apply for a personal loan. Most of them offer it. Now, here's the caveat that I said to you. In many cases, the interest rate is going to be higher than a loan on a car or a house because it is unsecured, it has no collateral. So you will be looking at interest rates of about 9 all the way to about 30% on personal loans, depending on what state you're in. If you have excellent credit and you have like an 800 credit score, you're probably gonna be somewhere around 8 or 9%, even in today's world where we have really low interest rates. Now, yes, I have seen a few out there around 5 or 6%. However, those are usually just for a certain amount of time and then the rate increases. As I've mentioned before, I worked in banking for over 18 years. I literally was a VP at Chase, so I can tell you they are trying to make money when they are lending. So personal loans are considered higher risk and they will have higher interest rates. So let's talk about how you get one. Because personal loans are the highest risk loans available, again, they're higher than credit cards, they are considered the highest risk type of loans that a bank will lend. Literally, you go in, you sign your name, and they will hand you tens, 20, 50, $100,000 cash, and you are able to do whatever it is that you want with that money. Literally, I've gone into banks, I've signed for a personal loan, and they will ACH or wire the money directly into my checking account, and it's there in a matter of hours. I've literally gone into the bank in the morning, got a personal loan, and then a few hours later, all of that money was in my checking account. So it's an awesome thing to get, and it is easy money if they will lend it to you. But like I said earlier, most applications are declined because most people do not know what to put on their personal loan application. But you now know the biggest thing that you need to know about personal loans. They are high risk. So what you're needing to do when you fill out your application is think like the bank. What would lower the risk for the bank? What would make them want to lend to you? Let's talk about that. So on a personal loan application, there is one important question that is above all of the other questions. Now, of course, they are going to be looking at your name, your credit, your birth date. You're gonna have to fill out an application, give them all of your information. They're going to pull your credit. Your credit is gonna be very, very important when it comes to a personal loan because that is the only thing that they have essentially to put the loan on. How well you've paid other people is usually an indication of how well you'll pay them. So if you've paid all your other bills, you've paid your credit cards, they will reasonably assume, okay, if this person can afford this payment, they will pay me. So your credit is very, very important when it comes to a personal loan. But even more important than the credit score, because again, I'll give you some tricks on how you can use other people's credit to get you this loan. The number one question on that personal loan that people answer very incorrectly is the purpose of the funds. The purpose of the funds. I want to say that again because I need you guys to hear this. What are you using the money for? That is the key answer, okay? Because the thing with personal loans, which makes them so great, is they're not really automated, all right? So I've worked in banking for many years. Like I said, I worked at Wells Fargo, Bank of America, and Chase, and in many of those cases, I had very high-level positions. So I know a lot of their inside information. When it comes to auto loans, credit cards, and mortgages, in many cases, they have automated systems, okay? There's all this software that automatically approves someone for a loan. But in most cases, not all, but in most cases with a personal loan, you literally get in front of a person, okay? They have underwriters, a physical person, just like with mortgages and auto loans, but immediately, they usually don't have an automated process at all for personal loans, okay? They really want a human to look at the application. So this is to your benefit. So when you are answering the question as to what you are going to do with the funds, you probably should say something that's going to make them want to lend to you. What are you going to use the funds for? Now, again, I'm not going to teach you guys to do fraud. I'm not going to tell you anything, but I'm going to tell you what I put on my applications and why I always get approved for my personal loans, and you can do what you want with this information. I am always building a business, okay, guys? I'm always expanding my business. I'm always adding to staff. I'm always buying inventory. I'm always expanding my business. I'm using this money that they're giving to me, even if it's a personal loan, even if it's I got to pay it back myself. I am using this money to make me money. All right. And banks, that is what they do. So that really resonates with them. You know, they're a business too. And in fact, banks get loans from other banks, if you didn't already know this, in the federal government and all this other stuff. So they are very apt and they're very open to what you're going to do with the money and if you're going to use it to build and expand your business. Now, if you're a startup and you have no business whatsoever, you probably want to take a day and go get a business license and an EIN number and do the things that I teach you. I have a whole video teaching you exactly how to set up your business really quickly. And then you have a business and you can say, this is what I'm doing with the money. Instead of more so than paying off your credit card debts, which is not a bad one. That's just probably the second best reason, and is debt consolidation. Because if you can show that you're consolidating these debts that have these payments, you know, say you add up all your credit cards and they're $1,000 a month, and they're going to give you a loan now, and that's only $600 a month. If you're taking that $1,000 and you were able to pay the $1,000, you'll likely be able to pay the $600. Okay, so that's the second best reason is debt consolidation. They like that, okay? They like that you're going to pay off your other debts and then just use this one loan to pay. So that's the second best reason. But the number one is expanding your business, because that lets them know too you have another stream of income. All right. So long as you're not saying I'm quitting my job to go do this new venture, never tell the bank that. In many cases, they will lend you the money. And this is a great way where people are able to fund their own business using their own personal credit and instead of using your own savings or money that you saved, you literally can use other people's money that you've borrowed for your business. Number two, this is another secret step. Okay. Number two, hidden way that if you were looking for a personal loan, is instead of going to a bank like Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Chase, all of those big banks. Don't get me wrong, big banks are fine, but for most people that don't have a lot of money, you don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars on deposit with them, you probably want to use a credit union. Credit unions are a lot smaller and they're member owned. And remember, as a member of a credit union, you are a part of the credit union. You're not just a customer, you're a member. You've paid a membership fee and they are smaller. So yes, in many cases, depending on the credit union, they may have stricter guidelines, but oftentimes they will go above and beyond for their members. Additionally, they usually have a lot of unadvertised programs. For example, one of the ways that I really got started in investing before I was able to do all of the things that I could do with business credit is I would get CDs at my credit union and then I would borrow against the CD. So here's the trick. Just say I had $10,000 in my 401k. Take the money out of my 401k, put it in a CD, a certificate of deposit. They would do a loan against that CD, meaning they gave me the money right back in my pocket. So I gave them the $10,000, they give me a CD, and then I also sign a loan for that $10,000 and they hand me the money right back. Okay, so this improves your credit because now you have a trade line on your credit report. It's a secured loan, so essentially if you don't pay it back, they have that CD, even though it's kind of weird because you got the money right back. So this is a way where you can kind of cheat the system. You can use credit unions and you can use secured CDs as a way to get money, or secured savings account. So remember, you just gave them the money and then they gave it right back to you. So that's another hidden way. Okay, I have a free gift for you. Go to noelsfreetraining.com. I've created an entire course. It's about an hour long, a complete training just for you. It will teach you in detail my exact formula for investing without losing money. And again, completely free. Check it out at noelsfreetraining.com. I want to make sure that you have all the tools, all the knowledge, and all the resources that you need to be successful. This is Noel, to your success.
Come on.